question is for Apurva. Apurva, did you find it difficult to get back to academics after having worked for 3 years?
It actually not, because I have worked for in the semiconductor industry only. So I really have that basic things in my company only. And then when I go to the NYCU, I chose subject as per my direction. So it's not that difficult to, because the subjects are really technical. So it's just that I need to understand, because previously I have an idea about that, okay, what are transistors and how they work, but I really don't know how, what are the things that, what like gate, we know just gate, source and drain is there, right? But I don't know like how to connect and where they come from and how, ideas like that. So it's really interesting, not difficult, but interesting, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, good. So the answer is not so difficult. Yes. Okay, next.
Yes, the next question is for Professor. Professor, please discuss about opportunities for research collaboration. Siddharth is a PhD student and would like to know about opportunities in research collaboration with you.
You mean the research collaboration, or you say the cooperation between the PhD students and the lab, or the cooperation between two labs?
I think that he's trying to say between your lab and then the collaboration between your lab and then their university, or I mean.
Oh, okay. Yes. Indeed, right now, not only me, but all the NYCU, that we have a policy to promote international cooperation between university to university, specific the lab to the lab. And for me, I do have several cooperation with the some professor in Vietnam and Malaysia and Singapore. So yeah, I do. So it's quite open-minded. If we can have the same research interest in them, I think it's good where we can go. It's always open-minded, and usually the best way is we can start to co-supervise some students. So if some India students who come to NYCU for study and the professor in India also have a same research interest, that would be a very good starting point.
Okay, Albert, just make sure you keep your email address there. People can contact you. Next
Question is from Nisha. Professor, she's asking you, what skills would you like a student to have, or what kind of a resume would you like a student to have before they join your laboratory?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, this is a very important. So when we're looking for a student, a qualified candidate or members, first of all, their presentation skill. The second thing is, of course, they need to like our research topic. So they need to understand our research direction and show their passion. And the third one is the programming skill, because it focuses on master. And in my lab or some lab in computer science, the software programming skill is very important. And we do find some student, maybe they graduate from mathematics department of mathematics, but their programming ability is not good. We also accept this kind of candidate, but something we worry is their programming skill. So they need to have a good programming skill. At least they have ability to understand how to read a code. Otherwise, it will spend longer time for training. Okay.
What kind of what kind of program skill that you require? C++ or Java or Python? What you require?
Yeah. Usually usually C++ and the Python now, and Java is also some plus. And because right now all the AI algorithms is written in Python, so they need to get familiar with Python code. Yeah. And C is the fundamental one. So it's also very important. Yeah.
Okay. You guys, if you want to work in really like an AI, despite you are in the chemical engineer, always see whether you can have the programming ability, which can help you in the long way, because and Python is not that difficult to learn. So you guys, that is very basic requirement. If you want to join the computer science, I mean, for
Department of
your
it.
master degree. Yes, must to have. Yes. Okay. Next.
Yes, a student is in his final year of PhD and is working on offline handwritten character recognition. He wants to go for postdoctoral fellowship. Is it possible in your lab? And if yes, what would he have to do?
Okay, for a postdoctoral position, yeah, I do. In our lab, we do have this kind of position, such that we have the full research, full-time research position. But for the requirement for postdoctor, they need to prove their research ability because they are postdoctors, so they need to have a individual research abilities. So it will be a full-time, full-pay research position, right? So yeah, so that this is
That
also
means,
possible. Yeah.
so what professor trying to say is that if you want to get the full time, I mean,
Yeah.
postdoc actually is a job. Actually, it's not a study. Okay, so that means you have to show what kind of, I mean, establishment that you have already done. Means what kind of paper you have published. Number one. Number two, this paper is done by you. You are not the assistant of someone. So if you have published some good paper, approach them and then show that this is what you have done. It's not like a job. So if you have done, you can present, again, you can write to Albert, and then you can tell Albert, this is your CV, and this is the paper you have published, and then you can, then he will think, if you are good, he will forward your information to Professor Huang, and Professor Huang would look at your resume and your paper, whether it's relevant to his lab. And then if he think it is, then he's going to do the Skype interview with you. Okay? Yes, that's how it works. Next.
Yes. What would be the criteria for an Indian student to get a job in a multinational company in Taiwan?
How?
Okay, Professor Wang, Professor Wang, according to your experience, can you share?
Okay, no problem. Actually, I would say, because Huiling also asked this question several times, I would say all the students graduate from NCTU or NYCU, they are very popular in industry. So how to promise you to get a job? If you can satisfy, all requirements from your professor, your advisor, I think you definitely have more than 3 job opportunities, because every day I receive a lot of requirement or help or requirement from my sponsor, say, could you introduce good students to my company?
Yes.
ICT industry in Taiwan, they need a lot of high quality engineer researcher. They need a lot of, they don't have enough employee. Yeah.
You guys just, I'm not joking. So professors say, if you are able to satisfy your professor, this is not joke from him only. I heard from many professors, you will have at least 3 offers before you graduate. Okay, that is not joke, because all the company are asking professor again and again whether they have the good talent to introduce to them. Yeah, and most of the professor, a lot of good professor, they have many people are, many project working with a company. So the sky is the limit. Okay. Yes. Next.
Yes. Professor, how do we get an internship in your lab?
Yeah, that's a good question. Internship
in my lab. Okay. Usually, just for the internship, usually I every day I receive a lot of email from some international students, but because I don't know them, so their resume need to be very active, and let me quickly understand them. Usually it's better my friend or my some other professor can recommend them, and I also know this professor because for internship they usually come here for 3 months or 6 months, and it must have some connection and also have a similar background. So usually our first priority is, okay, you introduced by some other professor, and we do have some cooperation with this professor. They will be good channels. Otherwise, you are also welcome to write email to me. But
now, if you want to get an intern, from my experience, the best thing is that see whether your university have the, sign the MOU with the NYCU. If you have the sign up the NYCU, that your international office and their international office would talk to each other. And then they will say what kind of professor would want to take the internship students. Then they would do the matchmaking for you. Okay, that's the number one. Number two, Taiwan has a TEP program, which is a international what's that internship program. Before, they will give the scholarship, $500 per month. Right now, they don't give because it's only online. So you can go to this TEP. Sagarika, can you send the link that the people can go? There are many of the professor, they listed there. So you can go to see which professor you are interested and write to the professor and tell them again your background, what you have done, why you're interested, and then you will get the reply from the professor. Yes.
Yes. I'm also one member of the TEP project. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Go
then
through the channel. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but just make sure that don't say professor again, guys. Don't just say professor, can you give me an internship? No one will say yes. No one would say yes. Introduce yourself, what you have done, what you are interested. Three information have to be there. Highly possible, then you'll get a reply. I'll be here. So yeah, Professor Huang and Albert and approval. Thank you very much. For coming. 教授，谢谢，不好意思。
谢谢。
Yes.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity to promote NYCU.
Security, and then this week, one guys want you to know what the Professor Huang right now just gone, the research that he's doing actually it can be used in many different kind of field, like for drone, for self-drive car, smart manufacturing, everything they need this skill set. So you will have no difficulty to find job after you graduate from Professor Huang's lab, really. Yeah. So if one thing you are really worried about what in the future, what kind of job you can get, this is one of the lab or the profession you can get into, and your job for the next 30-40 years will be secure. That's what I think. Yes. Okay. Any more questions?
Yes. Can we go to Taiwan right now, or will we have online classes?
I think that Taiwan would open up in September. In terms of from as far as I know that in September they're going to start this physical school. So yes, the answer is not now, not July and August, but most likely in September. Yes.
The next question is, what can be the monthly remuneration for a postdoctoral fellow in Taiwan?
For the postdoctor, I think you will be about 50,000, 40,000 to 50,000 NT, and you can multiply by 2.5. Then you'll be Indian rupees. Yeah, 40,000 to 50,000. So if it's a 50,000, it would be 1 lakh, 1.25 lakh. Yes.
Is GRE important for Taiwan or only IELTS?
If you are going to be master degree, personally, if I can tell you, if you want to apply for those top university, you need to have GRE would be better, and for IELTS, you need to give. If your score, your GPA is high, and you can get the English certificate from your university, then it's good enough. Actually, you don't need IELTS. But if you don't have IELTS, make sure you have the GRE. If you don't have the GRE, make sure you have IELTS. Yes. Okay.
Thank you.